exciting. This is very exciting. 15 days to go. 15 days to go. And I am so excited to be here. And let me just start by telling you I'm here in large part because I just wanted to thank you guys. What you are doing here in Des Moines, what you are doing in this state is so important, not only in terms of the leadership and the future of this state, but what you will be doing over the course of these next 15 days is going to impact the people of our country. And in that way, it will impact my constituents, the people of California. So first and foremost, I am here to thank you for the work that everyone here has been doing, because it is true leadership and it is work that is going to impact a lot of people, most of whom you will never meet, most of whom will never know your names, but are going to benefit because of the work that you're each doing. So I want to thank you. Thank you. Everything that you are going to do to help Cindy, because we need her to be in the United States Congress. And for Heather and Amber as well, there's just, we talk about rock stars. And so listen, you guys have heard from these great leaders, and we know the issues, and we know there's just so much at stake right now. This truly is one of the most important elections of our lifetime. It truly is. This is an inflection moment in the history of our country. This is a moment in time that I think of as being similar to the moment in time when my parents met when they were students at the University of California, Berkeley, in the 1960s and active in the civil rights movement. This is a moment in time that is requiring each of us, and collectively as a country, to look in a mirror and ask a question. And that question is, who are we? And I believe that part of the answer to that question is, we are better than this. We are better than this. So this is the moment in time that is requiring us to fight for the best of who we are. And the stakes are high. I don't have to tell you what's happening here in Iowa, where they're privatizing Medicare, where we know that just in a very short period of time, people's premiums are going to go up at least threefold. We are better than this. And as far as I'm concerned, if we have leaders who want to vote to take away our health care, we need to vote them out of office. It is about what is fundamentally right in making sure that everyone has the ability to live a life with dignity. Everyone having the ability to have equal access to what should be fundamental rights, like the right to health care. So there is so much at stake right now. So much at stake. And here's how I think about it then. We know that we've got a lot to fight for. And we know that part of the issue that we are facing as a country in this inflection moment is there are a lot of people in our country who rightly are feeling an incredible amount of distrust. Distrust in their government and its institutions and its leaders. And we need to deal with that. And part of dealing with that is appreciating the nature of a relationship of trust. Because the nature of a relationship of trust is that it's a reciprocal relationship. You give and you receive trust. And one of the most important ingredients in trust is truth. But there's a funny thing about truth. Speaking truth can often make people quite uncomfortable. And for those of us who run for offices and we're behind microphones like this and on stages, there's kind of an environment and an incentive that when we speak, we will speak and everyone will feel very lovely, and we will sprinkle lovely dust all over the audience, and everyone will leave feeling just wonderful about themselves and each other. Well, speaking truth, especially uncomfortable truths, does not always achieve that goal. But the other thing about speaking truth is this. Yes, people may walk away from that conversation saying, I didn't particularly like what I had to hear, but they will also walk away from that conversation knowing it was an honest conversation. So we need to speak truth. Yes. So you all are now looking at me, okay, Kamala, what you got in mind? Okay, well, let's speak some truths, uncomfortable though they may be. If Charlottesville didn't make it clear, racism is real in this country. Anti-Semitism, homophobia, sexism are real in this country. Let's deal with those truths. Speak them so we can deal with them. Let's speak truth. Let's speak truth. People are going around touting, oh, the economy is great. Everything is great. It's all wonderful and great. Yeah, and so what are the metrics of that analysis of greatness on the economy? Well, they point to the stock market. Yeah, that's fine if you own stocks. That's fine if you own stocks. Then they talk about, oh, no, the economy is great. Look at the unemployment numbers. Well, yeah, let's look behind that. The fact is, yeah, people may be working, and they're working 2 and 3 jobs to pay the bills. This economy is not working for everybody. Let's speak truth that wages have remained flat while the cost of living steadily increases, the cost of housing and gas and tuition. I don't need to tell the students here. The economy ain't working for everybody. And then they propose and pass a so-called tax cut. And the people who benefit from that are corporations in the top 1%. Let's take a look at what they've been peddling. So this supposed tax cut, permanent for corporations, temporary for working families. This supposed tax cut benefits the top 1% with over $50,000 a year instead of giving that money to working families. In fact, what I'm proposing is we need to have a better vision for this country, and in particular reform this tax code in a way that supports the people who work to make this country great. And part of what I'm proposing, and I've actually got a bill, it's called the LIFT Act, is that for families making less than $1,000 a year, you get a $6,000 credit, which you can collect at $500 a month. And I'm going to tell you why I believe this is what we need to do as a nation. For so many American families, they are $500 emergency away from complete financial catastrophe. Let's talk about health care. The leading cause of American families going bankrupt is a health bill they can't afford to pay. So let's look at what we're doing and talk about the economy in a way that it works for working people. Let's speak the truth about what they've been peddling versus what we need as a country. And ultimately, let's speak another truth that I believe is particularly important in this moment in time where we have so many powerful voices that are trying to sow hate and division among us. Let's speak the truth that for the vast majority of us as Americans, we have so much more in common than what separates us. Let's speak that truth. Let's not buy into this hate and division and that us versus them that they're trying to sell. The vast majority of us have so much more in common than what separates it. We all know it to be true based on our personal, our professional experiences. We know it to be true based on that thing I call the middle of the night thought. Some people 3 in the morning, other people call it the witching hour. You know what I'm talking about. In the middle of the night, when you wake up thinking that thought that's been weighing on you, sometimes in a cold sweat. For the vast majority of us, when we wake up thinking that thought, it is never through the lens of the party with which we're registered to vote. It is never through the lens of some demographic a pollster put us in. And for most of us, when we wake up thinking that thought, it has to do with one of just a very few things. Our personal health, the health of our children or our parents. For so many Americans, can I get a job, keep a job, pay the bills by the end of the month? For our students, can I pay off those student loans? The vast majority of us have so much more in common than what separates us. So let's own that. And let's also recognize that when we are critical of what is not working in our country, we're going to reject this notion that that might invite a question about one's love of country. Because it's an interesting thing. Sometimes when we're critical about what's not working in our country, some would suggest that invites a question about one's love of country. I reject that. Because I believe there are two definitions of what it means to be a patriot. One, the definition that suggests you condone the conduct of your country, whatever it does. And then the other, being the kind of patriot I believe most of us to be. The kind that will fight each and every day for the ideals of our country. And that is what is at stake. So let's be clear about this. This is a fight that is born out of love of country.
Yeah.
This is a fight that is born out of knowing who we really are. It is about believing in who we are and who we can be moving forward. This is a fight born out of knowing that when we look at the students here, we see our future, and our future is bright because they are willing to stand up. They are willing to organize. They are willing to talk about what it means to be proud of who we are and who we can be. That's what this fight is about. And so, my final point then is this. Recognizing that, and recognizing we're at an inflection moment, let's also recognize this moment at some point will pass. We will get beyond this. I promise you. We will get beyond this. And years from now, our children, our grandchildren, others, they're going to look at us, each one of us, they're going to look in our eyes and they're going to ask, so where were you at that inflection moment? And part of our answer will be, well, we were all here together. And our answer will also not be limited to just how we felt. Our answer is going to be about what we did. What we did to give our vote. What we did to take people to the polls. What we did to knock on doors. What we did to see everybody we know and annoy the heck out of them and tell them you've got to vote. It's okay. They'll be annoyed with us. Some of us, they'll get over it. They'll come back, I promise. But this is a pivotal moment. And we've got 15 days to get this done. And here's the thing also. I just want to, as a specific point about voting. So, the history of our country, we are not proud of all aspects of the history of our country. And so one aspect that is a particular point among many is the fact that there were years where certain folks couldn't vote, in particular African Americans and women, right? And so because of that, so many of us, we take it very seriously voting, and we almost have ceremonies about voting on election day because people fought and died for our right to vote. And so we go and we bring our children and we take selfies as we're voting. Well, I just want to remind folks of something. You can honor the ancestors by voting early. There is so much to feel good about. There is so much to feel good about. There is incredible energy out there. You see it in the candidates before you. You see it in the students who are here. You see it when you look into your heart, when you know why you all are here right now, this afternoon. It's because we believe in our country and the best of who we are. And so this is that moment in time to get out there and fight for it. And I thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, hi everybody. Can you hear me okay? Yeah. All right, good. Well, so great to be here today with such an exciting audience, and thank you to the DMAC Dems for pulling this together. You did a great job. Big round of applause there. I'm Cindy Axne, and I'm running for the U.S. Congress to beat David Young and get a voice out to fifth-generation Iowan who got into this race because of those strong Iowa values that so many of us have that my parents gave me. I've got a couple sisters, and they said, girls, make sure that you always help your friends and neighbors, but help strangers alike, because when everybody does well, then our community does well. And that's right. And they also said to stand up for what's right and to fight back against injustice, even when it means standing up to someone more powerful. So it's really how I've tried to live my life, and now it's why I'm running for Congress, because we sure need people out in Washington who are going to stand up for what's right. I started this race now 16 months ago because I was personally disappointed with the decisions being made out in Washington. Decisions that are absolutely helping corporations and the wealthy, decisions that are taking us backwards, and decisions that are hurting hardworking Iowa families. So I started talking with Iowans and listening to their needs to make sure that when I get to Congress, I'm ready to hit the ground running. And I can tell you, Iowans are really concerned about a lot of things that you're all very well aware of. Making sure that we've got affordable, quality health care. Yeah. Good, that's right, good paying jobs, and an opportunity for our kids right here at DMAC and across this state to be able to move into those jobs that pay well, that are going to help them. And of course, to preserve Social Security and Medicare for the people in our communities who need them, and so our seniors can retire with dignity. And I'll tell you one thing, Iowans are working incredibly hard and we're playing by the rules, but Washington doesn't have our back and we deserve a heck of a lot better. Yeah. Well, I've got to get out there because unfortunately my opponent and I have very different ideas on what that means. He's taken hundreds of thousands of dollars from corporations and special interests and then turns around and votes in their favor, not ours. He's taken money from health insurance companies and then voted to increase premiums on Iowans, especially older Iowans. He's voted for a tax bill that puts $1.9 trillion of debt on our future, on the future of every single person here at DMAC. And then he's done that because it puts more money back into the pockets of the wealthy shareholders that are contributing to his campaign. That's wrong. Well, I'm a mom of 2 teenage boys, one, by the way, who's taking classes at DMAC right now. A small business owner, along with my husband, we own a digital design firm, and I spent a decade rooting out waste in state government here under 3 administrations, making sure that we delivered better services to the people here in the state without cutting services, but by the way, saving tens of millions of dollars in taxpayer money. And I know government, when it works well, can do great by the people that it serves, and I intend to go out to Washington and make sure that we bring that skill set out there to improve the lives of the people that live here. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to get out there and work with anybody, and I truly mean this, Republicans and Democrats alike, as long as it's right for the people here in our state. But I'm going to fight back against any of them if it's not. And I'm going to make sure that you all have a voice. So get ready, because we're going to have a big trip we're taking in January. I want to bring... You're all coming with me because it doesn't matter if you live here in the metro, if you live out in one of our rural communities, or you live on a farm. Every single one of us deserves to have a champion out in Washington that will make their lives better. So I'm bringing you with me and your friends and family, our hardworking teachers and union members, our seniors hoping they have what it takes to retire with dignity, our kids and adults who are coming out of 2-year or 4-year college with so much student loan debt, they're having a hard time getting off on the right foot. They need a voice out in Washington. So you're all coming with me so we can make that happen. on some words that Governor Vilsack said. He said these are the most important elections in 50 years, and I couldn't agree with him more. The heart and soul of the state is at risk. The heart and soul of this country is at risk. So I am so glad to be here today because I ask for your voice and I ask for your vote. I ask you to get out there and talk with as many people as you can, independents, Democrats, and Republicans alike, and let them know there's a better choice in this election. And by the way, a better choice up and down the ticket, don't you think? So I ask you to get out there and do everything you can for the next 15 days now. We have a choice in this election, and we need to make sure every single person knows that. We have a choice to send somebody to Washington that's going to look out for our kids and make sure they've got opportunity for good paying jobs in Iowa. A choice that will protect our environment. A choice that will bring good paying jobs back to the people here in the state. A choice that will ensure that our seniors have what it takes to retire with dignity. A choice that will ensure we've got quality, affordable health care, a choice that will stand up for all of our communities, our minorities, our LGBTQ, and our women, and make sure that they're safe in their communities and they've got opportunity. So I'm so grateful to be here today. I ask for your help to make this happen. Let's get out there, let's talk to everyone we know, because a better choice is there, because together, we can bring hope and opportunity to every person in this district, this state, and this country once again. Let's go win this thing.